as humans, we stay very, we identify ourselves by how we were raised and what we identify with. So why not identify with just who you are? Who you are, and I tell my students this all the time, you're enough. You are enough. And they think, oh, I gotta get this job, I gotta get this internship, I gotta impress this guy, impress this girl. And it's like, no, you're enough, right? Like who you are is so powerful. And for me, it was just an understanding of, all right, I could do it through sports. I can't bring students to a classroom because I wasn't a professor. I can't bring students to church because I'm not a priest. But I could meet them where they are.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy KB.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Jay.
We are live from the Bronx. We are the podcast and creative brand that celebrates creators and change makers of color. And today, we have a very special episode. A very special guest. We are here with the boy Andrew Curiel.
Yes, sir.
And he is a bunch of things, but he's the founder of BU Stay True basketball camps. He is the new director of, I don't want to get the title wrong, but it's the
Center for Leadership.
Center for Leadership at Mount Saint Vincent. And if you look around, Mount Saint Vincent is where we're recording out of today.
Yes, sir. Happy to have you both.
Oh, Drew, thank you for letting us kick it
Yes, sir.
in your crib, your campus. So we're excited to be here. So one of the things that we like to start our guests with, we want to know who you are.
Okay.
All right, so this is a super general question. Please feel free to answer it however you'd like. Who are you and how do you identify?
All right, well, just how we said off camera, like I'm a Bronx native. I love wearing that on my sleeve and letting people know once I get into a room. Usually they can feel that and get that. Okay. But for me, I come from a single family home. Mom raised me and I get a lot of my toughness from that. And also, I get a lot of my work ethic from that as well. So for me, I've always been kind of how you did in the intro, change makers. Like I want to make change every place that I go, and I want to make an impact with the people that I'm around. So BU Stay True is the opportunity for me to do that with our youth throughout the Bronx, through our summer camps. And I've been so fortunate to be here at CMSV, come back home, be an admission counselor, tell students about the campus and everything like that, and the admission process, and be that relatable person to them so they can understand this. But in all, I'm just a dude in the Bronx doing God's work. Straight up.
Ooh, that's a bar. That's a mic drop right there.
Straight up.
I love that. So I want to stay there a little bit and think about your upbringing in the Bronx, right? So you spoke about growing up in a single parent home. Mm-hmm. Where in the Bronx specifically? Tell us the neighborhood and talk to us a little bit about like what that was like growing up in your community.
Yeah, so I grew up in Parkchester, between Parkchester train station and Castle Hill train station. There's a little neighborhood over there that's like not Parkchester condominiums. So I grew with my grandma, my grandpa. Yeah, 6 line. I grew with my mom, my grandma, my grandpa all in one crib. Okay. And we had our own room and they had their own room, but it wasn't like, they never made it seem like life was tough. They did such a good job making sure I didn't see tough, right? But I went to elementary school in the same block. Okay. I went to Scanlon High School on one bus ride over. So it's just, I was always in the Bronx. Like this is really who I am. But I always wanted to get more. But obviously when you try to get more, you need bread. Like you need to do stuff.
Let's stay there real quick. Define get more.
Yeah, I wanted to get more. I wanted to make more of the opportunities that I had in school and see how we can continue to do the things that I was getting, like mentorship. People were looking out for me. People were, giving me money to get food. Like those are the people in my schools and my communities that knew where I came from, but were willing to help. Okay. Right. So I was looking, all right, like how can I continue to pass that on if I don't have the means, right? Yeah. So how else can I help people? Well, I can motivate them. I could be a leader for them. I could show them the ropes of how to go to high school, like things like that. So I always took opportunities like that, like to be a peer leader in high school, to be an orientation leader in college. And for me, it was just like, how can I continue to give to people what I received throughout my whole life? Because again, I didn't need it. I mean, I didn't get it because I asked. People just show love and they gave it to me. So I'm like, all right, that's the culture of the Bronx. Just put on people, give love, show love, and help people. So that's always been me.
Yo, this is dope, right? And what I like about what you shared is people seeing your energy, how you're moving, right? From young, oh, this kid got something, right? How do I give him these gems and like grow this organic relationship? And you were receptive to it.
Yes.
Right? Because that's also, it's a two-way street. I might see you and be like, yo, this kid got a lot of potential. And I may want to mentor, whether you the OG on the block, right? They're not going to say like, I want to mentor you, but they gravitate towards you. Or you the person that's in my school, right? Whatever the case is, there's something about your energy. And why were you so receptive to it?
Receptive to what?
To the mentorship, to the guidance, to the game that people wanted to give you.
Because again, like I was aware, like as a kid, like I'm only receiving information from my mom. Right? Word. Not saying it's right or wrong. Love you, mom. And we've had conversations about this growing up now. It's like there's other opportunities for me to learn from other people and mentors. So I'm not saying the lessons I learned from my mom and grandma are wrong or right. I'm just saying I want to be receptive to other perceptions, because again, the moment we stop limiting our learning is the time we stop growing. So for me, I was going to everybody. My coach, like, you think this is just a basketball relationship? Nah, like you gonna teach me more. Or like,
they don't even know it.
Nah,
like,
and I'm asking questions because that's always been me, very curious.
Facts.
And I'm a Catholic man, so I've been going to church ever since I was 5. My mentor, my best friend is my priest, Father Darvin, and he's at St. Teresa. Bro, and after Mass, like 5 to 6, bro, we chopping it up. Like, we gotta talk about life. Like, I want to see how you view life as a priest. I want to see how you view life as an administrator. Like, because again, those are lessons I could take from the OGs, from the older people, and pass them on to my students, pass them on to my relationships, things like that.
Facts.
I love that. So you mentioned basketball. You mentioned coaches and stuff like that. So I know basketball has been a big part of your journey. So when did you start playing? Were you playing in high school? Were you playing in middle school? Tell us about how sports and basketball specifically has kind of impacted your journey.
Great question. Yeah, so my first sport was baseball, T-ball.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started doing that. My mom put me in that. But then when I was in elementary school, actually, my priest, Father Darvin, he was like, "You're going to play basketball." And I'm like, all right. So I'm in 3rd grade. He set me up with a 4th grader. His name is Joshua Cirillo. And I just posted that on Facebook. Like, he bought a BU Stay True t-shirt. Yeah. And I'm like, it's crazy how full circle that get.
We got to cop some t-shirts.
Yeah, I got you. I'll send that link. We supporting year 9 of BU Stay True.
Hey.
And he showed me the ropes of how to play basketball when I was in 3rd grade. And he was in 4th grade. Like, literally 2 basketballs, dribbling, up the line, shooting layups, all that. So I'm like, all right. And then eventually I was always the tough kid running around. I wasn't tall yet, but I was running around. And I'm like, all right, I can play defense and I'll get some layups. Yeah. So that's how it started. And then when I continued to grow into it, my biggest change of hoops was Coach Dwayne Mitchell. He coached at Gauchos. He coached Kemba Walker at Rice. And he came to Scanlon High School in 2011-12. Changed my perception on basketball. Like, I thought we were always going hard. Nah, there's another level with Coach Mitch. Like, we didn't have a weight room. He's like, all right, push-ups, lunges, squats. Like, we're going to figure it out. So that really gave me the mindset of, like, if you really want to win, if you really want to be well, or if you really want to do well, you got to put in the work. Like, not just the work you think is good, but you got to put in that extra.
What age are you when you're playing at Gauchos and you first met this coach?
Yeah, so I didn't play at Gauchos, but he came to Scanlon.
Okay.
So I was going from my sophomore year to my junior year.
Okay.
So in the realm of New York City basketball.
Varsity.
Yeah, so I was just going to get to that. Okay. So the realm of New York City basketball is your freshman, sophomore year, you play JV.
Yep.
Your junior, senior year, you play Vars.
Yep.
Right? If you're nice enough, you could be on Vars. But that sophomore to junior, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going from JV to Vars. This big time coach is coming in. Can I even make the team? Because you know how I go in coaching world. I'll bring my transfers. Yeah. It's over. Like, I'll bring my own recruits.
Especially today.
Yeah, bro, they're not playing.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I got to work hard. So me and my boy Joe, we were the only 2 who came from JV to the varsity team, along with the other transfers and the recruits. But it was cool because it was like I belong. How we were just talking about off camera, like, you're gonna accept me because my work speaks for itself.
Period.
And yeah, exactly. And then my teammates, they push me, like, they coming in first year, they want to prove to us that we belong, right? Like, this is all worth it. That really shaped me to work hard, and it gave me the opportunity to even look into, do I want to keep playing in college? And what I've always seen to be the most consistent, and to answer your question full circle, is like, basketball gave me that work ethic. Okay. Basketball gave me you put in, you get out. And also, but you have to show up every day and do the work. So, like, even on those days when we don't want to come into work, even on those days when we don't want to have those tough conversations, it's just like hoops. You got to go to practice after you just got blown out by 40. So that's always been me, like, keep working, keep going, and how can we continue to be aware of the process in terms of where we're going towards the end.
And you were able to kind of take those life lessons
man.
And be able to spin that to other things. Yeah,
expand that to BU Stay True. So understanding my story, I've always been mentored. I've always been guided. I've always been helped. I'm like, man, I got to do that. Like, I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out. And I was so fortunate here at Mount Saint Vincent. I was taking some classes. I failed my major. So I was initially a bio major. Okay. I wanted to be a physical therapist. Well, my mom wanted me to become a physical therapist.
I got a similar one.
Yeah, what?
I got a similar one. So when I first got to, so I went to Fordham. So I went to.
Now it makes sense. The summit. Now it makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah.
For the masters, but so I went to Fordham, and my first advisor gave me a schedule. Like my very first day of school, he's all right. Here's your schedule, and I had applied as an econ major.
Okay.
Right. Gave me a schedule that was totally incorrect.
For econ.
All like bio. organic chem, or just completely.
What?
I didn't know I told you a story.
Nah, I never heard this.
Gave me a schedule.
Wow.
And my mom's a teacher. My mom was a retired teacher in the Bronx her whole career, and she's like, oh, maybe it's meant to be. Maybe it's God. Maybe you're supposed to be a doctor.
She hype. She
Yeah,
hype.
she's
So
super
yeah.
And I was like, no, Mom. It means I'm supposed to get a different advisor. Straight up. And right away, went to somebody else, switched all to my economics classes, and yeah.
Okay, you figured it out.
But yeah. So I was almost pre-med by mistake.
Yeah, so I did make the mistake. I kept going, and being a first-gen student from the Bronx, coming from a single-family household, and not understanding this college game, I'm like, all right, like I didn't know how to advocate for myself in that sense. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just show up. Yeah. Bro, and I showed up to them 8:30 a.m. bio lectures for 3 hours, and I'm just like...
And lab, right? You probably gotta take lab, yeah.
Bro, I remember we had a joke, like, yo, Drew, you got Def Day today?
Oh,
Def Day.
shit.
And I'm like, yeah, because it was bio lecture, 8:30 to like 10:30. I had an English class, then I had bio lab for 3 hours, then I had one more freshman class, then I had practice 4 to 6, then I had study hall 6 to 8. Then when I ate, you heard eating in there? Like, no, like, that was a really long day. I ended up failing my major my first semester of college. And I'm proud to say it because it was just like, I didn't put in the work. Yeah, I didn't. But full circle though, I ended up switching into business. Okay. Found my footing, and it was literally the aha, like the light bulb turned on in those classes, like profit, margin, loss, revenue. Like it just made marketing. Like it just made sense. Yeah. And what was cool and what I tell these students now is, again, back to the basketball, right? You put in the work, you get it in the next day. For business, he was like, go try it out, come back to class next week, see how it worked. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna really do this though. I'm gonna put it into a business plan, and that's how I created BU Stay True with Nico, my business partner. So it was crazy to see how fast my journey started, and I thought college was gonna be over, but business really opened my mind.
Yeah, you know what's so dope about your story, right? You pretty much being at college in Mount Saint Vincent is where you got your idea for BU Stay You, right? And
BU
Stay True,
yeah.
BU Stay True. And you created your business plan here and then brought it to life. So we had a similar conversation with one of our homies, Hector, yeah, shout out to him. And he has amazing coffee. He has a coffee brand.
Gutman Community College, he went there?
He went to Gutman and then Rochester,
I met the president at Gutman, Dr. Larry Johnson, at the SACAT. And I connected with him. I'm like, bro, you mentor. Like, you don't know, but you gonna mentor me.
So the dope thing about it, right, is he had a similar story of like how he started his coffee brand, right? He learned how to make coffee on campus, right? And boom, fast forward to where he is now and building his brand and doing his thing, right? And so that's such a beautiful story, I think, because it's like sometimes, right? Like I don't necessarily think college has to be for everyone, but I do encourage it, right? I do think there's some really dope life experiences that could come out of it, but this is one part of it that we don't talk about a lot. It's like, how do you create this idea you have on campus? Because you have access to everything. We're in the studio right now, right? You have access to everything. You have labs. You have state-of-the-art equipment, right? You have professors who have been in the industries that you're interested in for years. Like, you literally have everything on campus, especially today with the way technology is. So, like...
And you usually have more time.
And you have more time,
Your job is school.
So it's like, how do you start to build whatever that is you want to build here? Like, test it out, right? You know what I'm saying? You have an audience. It's your friends who are on campus, right? And create that thing right here and then just test it. And if it works, you might actually have something, right? And so I just wanted to elevate that because I don't ever really recall hearing any stories like this when I was applying to college and visiting campuses. And I think your example of how you created this business plan and made it come to life was dope. So
thank you for that.
No, for sure, it's big. So like, let's stay there. Let's talk about that. So what is BU Stay True?
Yeah, BU Stay True is a nonprofit organization that promotes character building in the youth through sports. I feel children are oftentimes sponges through the ages of 5 to like 18. And I feel like they're going to absorb everything. What stays with them is going to be what's their core values, right? As we were just talking about though, as humans, we stay very, we identify ourselves by how we were raised and what we identify with. So why not identify with just who you are? Who you are, and I tell my students this all the time, you're enough. You are enough. And they think, oh, I gotta get this job, I gotta get this internship, I gotta impress this guy, impress this girl. And it's like, no, you're enough, right? Like who you are is so powerful. And for me, it was just an understanding of, all right, I could do it through sports. I can't bring students to a classroom because I wasn't a professor. I can't bring students to church because I'm not a priest. But I could meet them where they are. If I'm and that's how I went to Nico. I'm like, yo, I went back to the dorm. I'm like, yo, Nico, I got an idea. And
so Nico
what year is this?
This freshman year, bro.
Freshman
so I failed.
year.
So you and Nico are both
co-founders. Yeah,
and both students at this time.
Yeah, that's my right hand, and we got placed as roommates here because we were both basketball. Crazy how God worked. Actually, it's not crazy anymore. God worked.
Yeah.
I'm an only child. He's an only child.
Okay.
I only got my mom. He only got his mom. I only got my grandma. He only got his grandma. We both from New York. We both he played AAU. I didn't. Like it was just crazy. So then I went to class. I came back. I'm like, yo, Neek, I got an idea. Let's do a basketball program. Because right now we on a team. We NCAA athletes, right? Division 3, but we still athletes. Yeah. So we could promote it like that. He's like, all right, keep going. I'm like, you played with on PSA Cardinals with Munch as your coach. Like, you know people in the basketball world. I know people with Dwayne Mitchell as my coach. Like, we can make this work. So, all right, let's do it. And what helped me was my professor, Jonathan Rosenberg. He was sports marketing here. He still teaches sports management and everything.
Comes right back to what I was just saying, right? There are people, It's
insane. And he's like, yo, you can do this. Like, he put the battery in my back.
Facts.
He showed me how to fundraise.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my biggest thing. He showed me how to fundraise, and I'm like, all right, bet. I don't got no bread. I need people to buy shirts so I could buy trophies and medals and basketballs and equipment.
Word.
All right, let's do that. All right, I don't want to make shirts because I don't got the machine. That's too much.
Press up shirts,
So now I'm like, all right, let me go on Google. How to get shirts. I found this website called Custom Ink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Custom Ink has a smaller firm called Booster.
Okay.
Where you make a shirt, you buy the shirt, they send the shirt to you, they send the money to me. I'm out. And the shirts keep coming in. So we cut the check. We sold shirts in May, right? I got the idea in May.
Yep.
And then we sold shirts at the end of May. We made like $500.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So now I got to think about business class. Don't spend the whole $500.
Yep.
And create a budget. And I'm like, all right, how much budget do we need for equipment? How much budget do we need for prizes? Right? But this is business. I'm literally learning in business class. And I'm applying it. And I'm like, and back to the basketball, right? You put the work in, you get it out. So we doing it, and I'm like, yo, Nee, we got a camp, bro. Like, we about to do it. So I went to my connections, because I heard that in business class. Go to people you know. I went to Scanlon. I said, hey, listen, Scanlon alum, can I get the gym? I know that comes with fees, but I'm like, listen, like, I sold them the story, marketing. I'm like, listen, Mount Saint Scanlon alum comes back to Scanlon, hosts free basketball camp for the youth. You don't want that press? And that's how I did it. And they were like, yeah, take the gym for a day. Cool. 25 kids signed up. Okay. How I got the kids? Facebook. Yo, mom, share this. Yo, Nico, you share it. Yo, Nico's mom, share it. And it just kept on blowing up. And I didn't charge any bread for the camp because I knew, like, I didn't know how to do that yet. But God, he delays, but often,
and you and
often
your
not
boy Nico
denied.
were running the camp.
Yeah, it was me, Nico. First camp ever. Me, Nico, my boy Emmanuel, who just became a doctor of physical therapy. Okay. He lives in Co-op. Yeah. And my boy Matthew Zarnock, who's the current assistant men's basketball coach for CMSV. Us four coaches, 25 kids, scaling, and we made it happen. And it just kept going.
So we got a bunch of questions.
Yeah, rock out.
So one of them, let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from? So was the first camp, was it BU Stay True?
Great
or was
question.
it just...
That's a really good question.
Y'all gonna die when y'all hear this. First camp was, I'm like, all right, I need something fun, I need something catchy, right? First joint was literally, I went to Nico, I said, yo, bro, this is it. This is it. I showed him on the Mac. It said, Summer Fun Basketball Clinic. Yeah, bro. And it had a Michael Jordan quote at the bottom, like...
Summer Fun Basketball Clinic?
Because that's really what I had in mind. I'm like, this is gonna be a summer... It's gonna be fun.
SFBC. That don't make sense.
Yeah, it's not right. It's not right. But full circle though, my mentor, my priest, he always barked on me when I was younger, like getting out of character, being a follower in school, like you know, like not showing up to like a class or whatever because I'm talking to whoever. And he used to pull me aside, like really, yo, come over, get me to the side and be like, what are you doing? And to me as a 8, 9, 11, 12-year-old, I didn't get why he was doing it.
Yeah.
But he brought it up to me. He's like, yo, your mom worked too hard for you to be playing around right now. Your mom works way too hard. Like, he knew my whole situation, single family home. And he's like, you playing around, and meanwhile, she's working so hard. Mm-hmm. I need you to be a leader. He said that to me. And I'm like, again, no idea what that means. But he's like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Andrew. He's like, no, who are you? And I'm like, Andrew Curiel. I don't know where this is going. I'm just answering. And he's like, exactly. I need you to be you. And that resonated with me from 7, 8, 9 till then. So I'm in the room. I'm like, all right, be you. That's tough. Can't just be that though. So I'm like, all right, make it catchy. Be you, stay true. Be you, stay true. That's it. Yo, Neek, we got it. Be you, stay true. And he's like, that sounds fire. And then I'm thinking about like initials, right? Like acronyms. Pause, but I said BUST, B-U-S-T. I'm like, that can't work. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought about B-U, but then I'm like, nah, Boston University.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, all right, B-Y-S-T. I searched it on Google, searched it on IG. Nobody had it. I'm like, that's it. So I created the page, B-U Stay True. And then I just told the story. Like 2 college kids coming, we selling a shirt, like we doing a free camp. Show love, like that's it. And the Bronx did what the Bronx did. They hopped on it, they showed love, and that was it.
So I just want to uplift something really quickly, right? You were explaining how Be You Stay True started, and what I want our listeners and our audience to catch is like you just gave them a blueprint, right? You pretty much told them, hey, I started here, then I went here, then I had to network, then I went to Skyline, right? Like I got this, how I got the players, right? And so that breakdown is so important, and I wanted to come back to something that you were explaining just about really tapping into your network. That's a hard thing to do, right? Like, so you mentioned 2 things that I would love for you to expand on. One, networking is an art, it's a skill, right? What you elevated was like a mutually beneficial relationship. Here's what I can give you, right? So talk a little bit about where you found not even that, like just the how, like where'd you get the empowerment from to like say I'm gonna do this networking and just ask these questions. And then the second thing I want you to talk a little bit about is fundraising, right? That's also really difficult. Yeah, we do it. We're right now in the middle of starting our fundraising for this next event, right? So talk a little bit about those 2 things if you don't mind, networking and fundraising.
Yeah, networking, and thank you for bringing it full circle. Yeah, networking and fundraising. Again, it comes from my childhood, like curiosity. Like, all right, we never did this before, but what about we do it right now? Like, just sparking interest, right? But I'm also smart with it too. It's like, all right, who likes basketball? All right, let me find those people. Let's find some common ground. You like LeBron? All right, cool, we'll keep going. And then it's like, oh, you from New York City? Okay, keep going. And what was cool for me was, again, I came from the basketball background, so I had people to like just have conversations. Yeah. And that's how I did it. I said, my assistant coach, Rudy King, said, yo, coach, I just want to talk to you. Chopped it up with him because he's done a lot of things. He's working with Overtime now and Scanlon, so it's cool. Coach Mitch, like, you're a legend, straight up. Like, let me talk to you about your journey. And what I did was, it was like another class. Let me really lock in, though. Let me really lock in, like, write notes, and then debrief after my notes with Nico. Like, Nico, this is what I just learned. And we talk about it, right? So the networking really came from that. Like, all right, I'm not getting it in the classroom because I'm learning already. I'm consumed by that. But now, how can I make it fun for me? Like, bro, I even remember my mom got a connection to DJ Test Smooth, right? Yeah. Legendary DJ. I said, Mom, I just want to talk. Like, just give me the number. I'll call. And he picked up. And again, it's not basketball events, but he's a DJ. He knows how to get into spaces. He knows how to market himself. He knows how to create content. So let me just chop it up. And he chopped it up with me for an hour. And I was so grateful. And what I learned from him, most importantly, was he did basketball events. So the whole time he's DJing, what's he watching? He's watching the basketball camp. At least he got to know something about basketball camp. 100%. So I got it from him. Fundraising was a huge shout out to Kylie McGrain. Kylie McGrain, she's 1 year older than me. She graduated 2017. Okay. She started an amazing nonprofit called the Princess Project originally, changed into a Moment of Magic Foundation. Okay. And what I love about this, she started in her college dorm room. And when we talk about blueprint, she said it. She said it for me. Because I was like, oh, nah, if she's doing that, like, I got to turn up. Like, it gave me that natural connection.
Like, I could do this.
Yeah. Like, it's relatable. Like, I see her in the cafeteria.
Yo, that's the big, yes, we'll come back to it.
She in the same dorm. She in the same class. All right, bro, like, come on. So I seen her nonprofit basically visits sick children in hospitals dressed as Disney princesses.
That's dope. That's
Come on, like it's great for the kids, it's great for the families, and it's also good for people who want to donate to something that's going well. So from her, I'm watching how she's fundraising. She's on Facebook telling her story. She was an English major, so she knew how to write really, really well and convince a message so that people will have a call to action to donate. So I'm reading those posts. That's not my skill set like that. But I'm like, all right, how can I make that me? And I'm like, all right, videos and pictures. Like, that's more me. Cool. And then seeing her, she developed a website. I'm like, do I need a website? Clearly, if she's working, let me get a website. So I went to the regular, now Weebly.com. Right there. And then I see she's incorporating it into her college students. Like, people jacking her. Like, they buy shirts. I'm like, all right. Like, all right, so that's all I'm going to do. So I really learned fundraising from Kylie McGrain, because the amount of money that woman has raised till now, she's still doing it. She's the executive director. And I went to her wedding this past August. And again, I'm looking in the crowd, a lot of our people we went to college with that still support her, and it was great. So those two portions, the network, it was like the phone calls to people that I know, and then the fundraiser was Kylie McGrain, period.
Yeah, so there's something in there so those phone calls you were talking about to these different people, those are informational interviews, right? Yeah, and that is, don't know yet. It's write that down. So that's important, because a lot of times we don't know, we meet the person that we want to learn from, right? Like we'll go to an event, right? We'll go somewhere and we see this person who's doing really well, who may come from our communities, and we're like, okay, I want to get to know this person. So you schedule a time to connect. That person might only have 30 minutes, right? In those 30 minutes, so I'm gonna come back to that. And then in those 30 minutes, you have to be ready and prep with the questions that you have, because when you get there, they're gonna say, "How can I help you?" Right? Literally, how can I help you?
Great story. Let's go.
And and if you don't have your questions, and this is hard, but I'm telling you how to prep. Right? Get your questions ready so that when you go in there, in those 30 minutes, you get the most information that you can from those people. And I think what you're talking about is so important, because then you took those notes. And you didn't just put them aside. You applied them, right? So it's important. That's the full spectrum in terms of informational interviewing, which is important. Go ahead, Cap.
Oh no, I was just gonna say this man right here is actually a master networker right here. So we actually met at a college access conference. Shout out to New York State ACAC.
Facts.
And this dude came up to me. We realized we knew a lot of the same people, and just kind of told me some of the things that he was doing. And sometimes you go to these conferences, and New York State ACAC is cool, but sometimes you go to conferences and people are like, suited up, kind of whatever the case may be, but you could tell people's energy. I was like, all right, this is something I can actually kick it with in real life.
Outside of work.
Yeah. Exactly. And we had one of those phone calls, 30 minutes where we chopped it up, where he was telling me about his story and stuff like that.
I was on the bus going home. I'm like, let me use the best use of my time, have a great conversation, and that was it. Because we didn't even really hang out at New York State. We did the natural, what up? You good? Bronx? All right, got you later.
Facts.
Definitely. So you said something else that I thought was interesting, and your intern, I'm sorry, give me...
Yeah, Valerie.
Val.
Val's in the building.
Shout out to Val. Val is very good at what she does, by the way.
Day one,
yeah. We had to interview somebody, she's interviewing us, and she kept me on our P's and Q's, so we appreciate it. But one thing that Val brought up that I was actually going to bring up to you as well, what is it like working with your friends? So it sounds like you and Nico were boys already. Yeah. So what is that dynamic like, and how does it work for y'all?
Yeah, I heard your conversation with Val, and I'm like, that sounds similar, because yin yang, right?
Yeah.
I got that tattoo on the back of my arm, because it's true. Like, you gotta take the good with the bad and the bad with the good. But with Nico, I'm like, remember, we started out as college roommates.
Okay.
He went to boarding school before, so he had the experience of dorming already. I didn't.
Gotcha.
But given the college experience, we were both first gen. Low income neighborhoods, single mom, single grandma. Father figure wasn't there, but in and out, right? So we had natural connection. So the best thing that I saw with Nico when we first started is, like, he's a point guard. I play big here. There's a natural connection there in basketball. So a point guard and a big supposed to have a great relationship so that you could work together on the court. So it was literally like, yo, Nick, I got you on set a screen. Or like, yo, Drew, like, I need you to pop. Like, and from the court, it naturally gravitated to, all right, we about to go eat now. And as you know, in our culture, and I wrote a LinkedIn post about it, breaking bread with someone super important in our culture, right? Because it's like, you're willing to share a meal, talk during this time. So we go from the court, 2 hours of basketball, go to the caf, eat for an hour, go back to the room, play some 2K. Just the natural connections was just there. He was a sociology major when he first started, was in the teaching route. That didn't end up working out, so he switched his major. And I was in bio, and I switched my major. So we had that connection too. And then also the opportunity to really start this program was what was elevating us as well. We both didn't do well our first semester, so we had so much natural chemistry. But working with him has been so dope, because it's like, I'm more of the, like, critique anal type of person, and he's just like, yo, bro, we could do this, and I'm like, yeah, we could do that, but bro, it's mad work to get there, and he's like, all right, but let's figure it out, and I'm like, all right, now I really got to do the work to get there, and he's happy when we get there, but it's great for both of us. But he's super creative. Every flyer we've ever made for camp, he does. Every t-shirt we ever sold, he does. Yeah, so with Nico, I told him, like, you might have to put that on your resume, because I told him that recently, because he always puts me as a job reference. But I'm like, bro, with this BU Stay True stuff, you have made 9 t-shirt designs that has raised well over $5,000 to $8,000 in the last 9 years. That's good work that any 100%. Organization would be willing to take. His creativity is superb. But with me, it's like, all right, thank you for the design. Now I'm going to sell this. Now I'm going to market it. Now I'm going to show people why this shirt matters. Right? Because we decided all to wear something different today. Right? But when they put on that shirt, they have a deeper understanding. This Drew Nico motivating the youth. This is a program that highlights being yourself and being authentic. So like, how can you not support? And it's only $20 as opposed to like more expensive stuff. And we've always had that mindset. If we're gonna come from the Bronx and be asking people to spend $35 on a shirt, that's crazy. But we're showing them like, hey, listen, if we all come together and all 1,000 of you buy a $20 shirt, we can then go do our thing. Yeah. Right? And it's all of us together. It's all of us. So that's how Nico and I really work together. He's more the creative, and then I'm more of like, all right, how can I make this appealing to the markets? So to my friends, to students, to college students, to my mom, how can she go take it and then sell it to her friends? Right? And not sell it, but make people aware. Like, we're doing great work, so like, show love, you know?
Yeah. So let's continue the journey. So you told us year 1,
2014, 15, yeah.
25 kids.
Yeah.
You and Nico, and there's like 2 other coaches. Mm-hmm. So now you've grown. So I know this year you're gonna be in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Puerto Rico is lit.
I want to pop out.
Pull up. Word.
Pull up. So tell us about that. What is it? 8 years?
Yeah.
That 8-year journey from 25 kids came to high school to being able to do this in Puerto Rico now.
Oh man, it's I want to get emotional, but it's like, you know, this really what I do, like in terms of the work. But it's been gratifying because it's like you see how many kids come back. Like, or like their moms would DM me on Instagram like, yo, they've been talking about this all year, like when's the dates? Or like, when can we register? When's the RSVP? And I'm like, I'm still in college, like I still got to do the college stuff. And I've always made it a thing to do it in the summer for that reason. Like, be aware. The main thing is the main thing, right? Like, I gotta stay focused in school. But the growth has come very natural because once I came back to Mount Saint Vincent that fall from running that camp, bro, the everyone on campus was like, yo, great job. How can I support? How can I show love? How can I do the camp next year? I'm like, all right, let me get to work. So Nico and I made another shirt design. People start buying the shirts. People start wearing it in the cafeteria, the games. So now I'm like, all right.
Did you find that it was easier after y'all were able to do it once? Like after you had like that blueprint for people to kind of see what
the t-shirts was? Yeah.
No, in terms of being able to get behind what you were trying to do.
Yes, because it was foundation. Okay. Right? It was foundation. It's like, now it's a longevity thing. Instead of like, oh, this is Drew's new thing. Nah, Drew's been doing this for 8 years. Like, this is who he is. So students have shown love, and like, even to the point, I'll put it on Twitter, like, yo, today's BU Stay True Friday. Not legally, but like, yo, let's do it. Everyone wear your BU Stay True shirts, right? Yeah. Raise awareness. But it has grown so much, and more kids have come. The foundation for camp, though, has always changed because it's like, you know, you want to get better, right? Like, even with your pocket, like, how can we make it better? How can we make it more, whatever? So for us, it was like, all right, well, do we need more kids or do we need more coaches? Do we need guest speakers? Do we need better prizes? Do we need like book bags, right? Like how to make us elite? But we always understood the BU Stay True thing is never really for the best basketball player. It's for those students who want to get into basketball but are kind of nervous to go to their first camp, right? So there's a niche market in there. So for us, it was like, there's a lot of people that want to play basketball. How can we continue to market to them? When it comes to the BU Stay True mission, we've grown now to it's like, now we're going to Puerto Rico. It's been great to see it because it's all worked. All of our work has led up to this moment. Year 6, 2020, when it was COVID, I was like, listen, like, we're not going to do the camp in person. Like, that would be a really egotistical thing of me to do. Instead, how can we do it virtually? And that's what we did. We put it on YouTube. Right here, upstairs, I edited 3 hours worth of content from my coaches, put it together, put it on YouTube, and I sent it to them through Zoom, through an email, and said, yo, and I screen recorded it, and that's how they did it. And it was great because how I marketed it was now it's kids all over the world that can come to BU Stay True. right? Connecticut, Jersey, Ireland for my time with my master's.
Can you tell us about that pivot? So was it just a natural like?
That's a great word for 2020. Pivot.
Oh yeah, because it's the word I use when I talk about what we did. Yeah. Because our first couple episodes were in person.
Yeah, you just started.
We
right?
had literally just started, and we were really excited about this thing. We didn't have any type of equipment yet. We were going to a studio to record, so COVID happened, and we had to pivot. Mm-hmm. We had to say, "Oh, this really dope idea that we had." Because a lot of times people think this is a COVID project. This was not. We had this idea pre-COVID, and then COVID happened, and it was like, well, this good idea. Do you let it die?
Yeah.
Because then maybe it wasn't really that good of an idea anyway. Or do you find a way to pivot? Mm-hmm. So for you, was it a natural thing, or like how did you get there?
No, I was really hesitant. Cause remember during that time it was like, oh, we're good. No, we're not. Oh, we're good. And it was like, bro, like, what is it? Like we were talking about kids, 5, 6, 7. Like I don't want to put them in that situation. Mm-hmm. But I got to attend the MBA Leadership Forum because BU Stay True is an affiliate of Junior MBA, which is an affiliate of MBA.
You heard that flex just now?
Junior MBA, basically, they set the tone. Kind of how you do with your curriculum. Yeah. Junior MBA sets the tone for all the other camps or organizations to follow suit. Yeah. So what's great about it, they'll send you whistles, merge, tablecloths. They'll make you look legit, but you got to go to training and everything, which is cool. Yeah. So part of that training, they send you like weekly forums to attend or like events. So they had a forum with like Stephen Curry, different Mike Breen, like different announcers and stuff. And it was cool to watch. And bro, while I'm watching, I'm like, this is not live. This is all recorded and someone edited it and put it together and it's 3 hours and I've been sitting here for 3 hours watching this. Can camp be like this? Because during that time, remember, a lot of people were doing Instagram live workouts. People were doing Zumba workouts. So I'm like, yo, Neat, what do you think about this? He's like, that sounds odd. But I'm like, this is the time, though, that's cool. So that's what I did. I hit up all my friends. I said, yo, record a 15-minute basketball session. You do dribbling, you do shooting, you do defense, right? And they sent it to me. I learned from my editing through my work in that mission because I was doing a lot of Zoom videos. I put it together, and then I sent it out to the kids. Did the same thing, registrants, everything. And as a prize, what I did was I made them certificates, and I mailed it to their crib. So, like, it worked. Yeah. After that, I was like, all right, I love scaling, but, like, the facility is pretty small. Yeah. And now that I'm working here at Mount Saint Vincent, I'm an alum of Mount Saint Vincent. Yo, y'all mind? Like, if we can, right? Like, just, you never been done, but I'm just asking. I didn't want to pay the bread, like, honestly, because you get hit with the renter's fee.
Come on.
So I was like, what do you think? And then, like, well, you have a good story, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, I need 1 day. So they gave it to me for 1 day. Mm-hmm. And we did it here. Kids, bro, like, when you see a 6-year-old look, like, when y'all go into the gym later, bro, it's something that they never thought they would be a part of, right, as a 6-year-old. But to them, it's like, wow, this is like a big college. It's like Duke.
And like on top of that, it's good marketing for the school.
Correct.
Right. So it's a win-win. Yeah.
Correct. Like, why not have the camp here, right? Mm-hmm. Mount Saint Vincent hosts local nonprofits started by a student. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the writing's there. Yeah. So then I was like, after that year 8, I'm like, neat. Let's do a 2-day camp. Yes. Full weekend. Okay. And it grew to that. And I'm not gonna lie, and I told a lot of people this. When we did last year's camp, after the camp, I was like, it was cool. Like, because we did it last year. We did it the year before. And it's like, all right, how else can we do it? Unless we do a week-long camp, that's the only other way I'm going to feel like it's a challenge. Yeah. But through the grace of God, I've been connected through wrestling. In our culture, everyone's our cousin. Right? Yeah. So his name is Alberto Ruiz, but we call him Booby. And he's Puerto Rican. So just naturally talking, he's like, yo, bro, what do you ever thought about, like, expanding, going other places? I'm like, yeah, like I did it in Ireland when I was a master's student. But he was like, what about you going to Puerto Rico? And I'm like, I was high on Bad Bunny during that time. He was lit. And I was working. Yeah, no, he still is. He still is. So I was like,
we gonna talk about how the Grammys, you know.
And with my students, I was thinking about the same thing. But it's like, all right, let's see. He has a cousin who lived in New York, got divorced, moved to Puerto Rico, started a whole new family. I'm like, all right. But she's like, you could tell she's from New York, though. Like, she's from Brooklyn. So she got that energy. I met her, and I'm like, she got 2 kids that play basketball in the community. She's a teacher. Her son plays on AAU in Puerto Rico. I'm like, yo, sis, can we talk?
Yeah.
Straight up.
Facts.
So I hit her up on Facebook. I'm like, hey, I do this. Booby told me to hit you up. Let's talk. Chatted for an hour. Informational interview.
Most definitely.
Told her everything I did. She's like, yo, this sounds great. Let me see what we could do. I'm like, and so our dates for BU Stay True Year 9 in Puerto Rico is July 15th, July 16th. We're going to be in Aguadilla, which is the top northwest section of Puerto Rico. I just feel like San Juan is the capital. It's very busy. It's not as Puerto Rican as people say it is. So I'm like, when I went to Aguadilla this past August, Bro, fire. Like, it was real culture. Like people think Manhattan is like New York. Like, nah, you gotta come to the Bronx.
Yeah.
You gotta come to the Bronx. So that's how Aguadilla is. It's the Bronx. So we're doing that, and that's gonna be a 2-day camp too. So
how many students are y'all looking?
So a lot of people from here, they're like, "Yo, can we come?" I'm like, "Yeah, but you gotta buy your flight." Like, I can't accommodate, right? I can't accommodate. But what I will do is, like my student leaders, right, who have been a part of BU Stay True, like I'll put you in the Airbnb with me. Like I'll take care of that through fundraising. Like I'll cover the cost. The students who want to come play basketball, it's on them. But of course, a discount. They won't have to pay the camp fee, right? Like we'll make it worth it. Yeah. But with Jaja, who's the connect in Puerto Rico, who's Boobie's cousin, she works in the school, so she got the kids. Yeah. Her son plays basketball, she got the team. Yeah. So I don't even got to worry about the kids signing up. I just got to show up, be me, honestly, with my team. So I'm looking forward to it because it's gonna be another step in the journey. Like BU Stay True has done this all in 9 years. Yeah. Imagine what we do in year 10. Like, feel me? Like it's there.
You know who you're reminding me a lot of? Roman Perez. He got Dudo Baez. Yeah. Yo, so
we should connect.
Yeah, we should definitely connect, y'all. So we had Roman on the show a while back, but he is doing some real amazing work in the community with basketball. It's grown a tremendous a super dope brand. He's killing. He plays ball still. But he's somebody. As I'm listening to you, I'm like, damn. Roman, and he from the Bronx too, right? Yes, Roman's from the Bronx. So I'm like, damn, I'm sitting here thinking about that. And then the other thing I'm thinking about, that might be a dope connection, is a wrestler, Michael Santana. Yeah. Do you know?
Yeah, Santana.
He's from,
I met him.
He's from here. Yeah, he be
in the concourse.
Yo, he be outside, which is really dope because you think wrestlers from the Bronx.
That's Boobie's favorite wrestler.
Yeah,
he shows so much Puerto Rican pride.
And that's what I'm saying, and so you wouldn't even know there's so much dope talent coming out the Bronx. But shout out to Michael, he's a really dope brother, real genuine and down to earth too, and it's not rare to see him locally, right? Which is really dope too.
I see whenever he posts on Instagram, it's coffee on the roof.
He really be in the Bronx. Yeah,
we gonna have him on the show.
We definitely. So I'm listening to you. I'm just thinking about connections, right? And I'm also just thinking about just how much talent there is. You know what I'm saying? Which is
lit. And that's some of the beauty in the work that we've been able to do. We've been able to kind of see a lot of that talent and bring people together. And I wanted to, as you were telling the journey, and it's a beautiful journey.
Thank you, brother.
A couple of things I wanted to point out that I thought were really dope in there that I want to kind of bring to the surface. Yeah. One, being able to be creative. Yeah. I think you said you've been able to do it in Ireland, which you kind of glossed over, but that's a really big deal. Just being able to kind of be creative, right, and never staying complacent. You're like, all right, I did this, so now what, right? And I think as entrepreneurs and business owners and creatives, how can you push it to the next level? Mm-hmm. Like you did it, now what, right? Mm-hmm. So that was the first thing that I thought was really huge in that story. And the other part is knowing when it's time to grow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Knowing when it's. I heard someone say once, if you're not growing, you're shrinking.
Yeah, and that's how I feel now with my new journey. It's it's true. It is. If you're not growing, you're shrinking.
So I think that's a great segue. So I know
he set it up.
The alley.
I already saw it coming.
Yeah,
I know where he going.
He passed it to me. I'm gonna pass it right back. Throw it up.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about it. So I know you're on a new journey. You have a brand new role.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, here at the college, I am fortunate now to be the new director for the Center for Leadership.
Talk heavy.
Yeah, okay. Man. I'm so excited. Obviously, watching and hearing my story and knowing who I am now and really getting to know me as Drew, you can see I'm really passionate about giving opportunities to students to really highlight what they're doing, Yeah. Through admission, it's been super dope. It's been super cool. Connect with students, put them onto this college admissions journey that is for sure flawed. It has to be changed and things like that. But again, show them, I was you. We're going to make it work. Yeah. We're going to make it work. Talking to those single moms, right? Mom, I get it. My mom, too. She ain't know what a perk loan was, too. We're going to work. A student in Brooklyn, you don't know what the Common App is? Cool. I'll put you on, right? And that was great for me to do that. And we've changed a lot of things here in admissions as well, bringing more people onto campus, highlighting student success stories, even on the board, right? You saw those student success stories I showed you? Those are real stories, but they're not elevated. How can we do that, right? And for me, I've been there 4 years in admissions, and I feel like at this point, I applied for the director for admission role. I didn't get it. Cool. Now it's God, and this happened in the last 7 days at the time of recording. God was like, cool. But look, he's straight up Center for Leadership Director. I may have not been viewed as a director for a mission, but I'm viewed as a director for a Center of Leadership. Cool. And now the impact I've had on my tour guides and my students was only limited, like 20 students.
Yeah.
Now I get the whole student body.
Hey.
And it's up to me how I want to do it.
Yeah.
I get to do different networking groups. I get to do different leadership forums and things like that. And what I'm so excited about too is putting these students on to the people that I know. Because it's like, you can only help me so much, but now you can really get a student, show them the ropes. Should they get their MSW? Should they go into school counseling? Should they go straight into podcasting, right? And again, it's a natural connection because it's like, y'all don't want to give back. You feel me? Like, everyone wants to help, but people don't know who to help if people aren't asking.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I'll be that for them. I'll be that bridge. And that's what I considered that missions work was. I'm a bridge to bringing students to college.
Yeah.
Now I'm a bridge of building leaders and connecting them with leaders in the community.
So it seems super aligned with your purpose.
Yeah. I was going to touch on that, right? Because that's how you started this interview, right? Talking about people investing in you and you also receiving whatever, guidance they wanted to provide and just naturally building those relationships with people. And like, again, right, coming back to your purpose, all right, the admissions role didn't work out, boom, I'm back in a leadership role doing what I've been doing since I was young, right? And I think that's big because now you can share that story with others, right? And really, this just sounds like what you do. Yeah, so it's like you get to naturally grow in your own passion and have a huge impact. And it's in the Bronx, right? So if you don't know, College of Mount Saint Vincent is in the Bronx.
Thank you for saying that. The north Bronx, but still the Bronx.
Still
the Bronx. I used to live in Riverdale actually for a little bit. And until I moved there, I didn't know how far up the Bronx went.
Yeah, it's tough.
I didn't know there was 260 anything in the Bronx, but we're not in Yonkers.
We are
on the border. We are on the border, but
close.
But it's Bronx. Let's get it right. It's the Bronx. So I think it's dope because it's still having an impact on your own community, right? Whether people realize it or not. So I just wanted to uplift that too.
Thank you. And again, BU Stay True is going to be connected with this. Like, how can we continue to build leaders? How we can continue to elevate what students actually want to do? Not learn, right? They have to learn in school, cool. But now it's like, all right, what's your passion?
Yeah.
What you about to leave here doing, right? Your 9 to 5, right, is your 9 to 5, but what you about to do after? Like, what you about to be here on a Saturday at 10 a.m. doing? So that's what I want to show them. Like, because again, it's such an investment, right? We pay all this bread to go to college, and I'm only leaving with a degree. But it's like, let me put these people on. There's networks, there's opportunities, internships.
And there needs to be so much more of that because when I went to school, that was never the types of conversations that were happening, right?
No. It's nuts.
Just how to move in your purpose and figure out what that purpose is. Yeah. And to Jay's earlier point, college is such an amazing time to do that. So formative. It is development time. Yeah.
And so you're also bringing up though, like the shift, right, that is happening on college campuses too, I would imagine, as generation after generation continues to come into college campuses, right? Because content, like even though I graduated college in 2014, like we didn't have this level of access to social media. I think Snapchat might have just launched. Might have been Facebook had already shifted. Instagram just launched, right? Like Twitter had just launched a few years. So like Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. But that was it, right? Yeah. And so all these new social media platforms started to launch around that time while I was still there. But we didn't know how to use it to the level that people use it now. And it also didn't have the same like reach or the word I'm trying to look for is essentially like the things you can do with it, right? Lack of better term, we couldn't really do as much, So I didn't even have that full experience. Now, like I teach high school students, right, who take a college course with me, and I carve out time to answer these questions about life for them. So, and like they'll just ask, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna pause on this topic. You do need to know this information, so I'm gonna give it to you, right? And just seeing where they are at with their understanding of things at their age compared to like when I was their age. I'm like, oh, this is a whole new breed of people, and now you're taking them and putting them on college campuses with access to all this.
They're gonna take over as they should.
And you have someone who's passionate from the community, who cares, who's in a leadership role.
It's lit,
bro.
It's lit. And that's what I'm so passionate, because it's like, how can we not succeed, right? The only way we don't succeed, and that's how I'm thinking about with Center for Leadership, is if we don't put in the work.
Period.
Straight up, because it's like, Bronx people, we're gonna put in the work.
Yeah,
we need resources, we need connections, we need networking opportunities. I bet. Here you go.
Facts.
You're not scared to work.
Nah, we really not.
All right, I mean, one more thing I wanted to ask you about. So, you seem like a person with a lot of different interests. One thing I found out about you that's really interesting is you are a huge wrestling fanatic.
Yeah, I'm a mark. Yeah, and that's so a mark is like a just does too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we wrap, I'm personally just curious. How did you get into wrestling, and why wrestling?
Yeah, so I vividly remember it. I think I was like 4 or 5. My godmother, when my mom went to go work, my mom used to drop me off to be watched by either my grandma, my nanny, or my godmom. So she would drop me off at my godmom's house. My godmom's husband, Eric, he used to watch wrestling.
Okay.
So I remember it was SmackDown. That used to be on Thursday nights. So he brought me upstairs. Because remember, I'm a 4-year-old kid. Like, ain't really conversation happening between a grown man and 4-year-old kid. So he put me in front of the TV. Done. Done. I remember seeing The Rock, people's eyebrow, everything. Yeah. And my favorite all time is Triple H, because of his story, how he has become now the chief content creator at WWE. But yeah, it's just found natural connections. And I was talking about it with my dad at Royal Rumble this past January.
Another flex.
Yeah.
At Royal Rumble this past Sunday.
Yeah. So we were talking about it. I'm like, yo, bro, look around. Like, there's so many different type of people here. And we're all bonding over this. We're letting go of the political stuff, the religious stuff, the culture stuff, the race stuff. And it's like, for 3 hours, we are the human race as it should be. A community, right? Over one thing. And that's what I love about wrestling. It's like I meet all these different type of people, different business opportunities, different opportunities to connect and actually make a relationship out of it. But ultimately for me, it's like I'm a nerd at it. Like, you watch Netflix series and you're so invested. My thing is wrestling. Like, people try to clown on it because it's fake, but bro, every Avengers is fake too, right? So don't come at me with that. So don't yuck my yum. Like, if I like wrestling and that's my thing, cool. If you like Marvel and superheroes, cool. So yeah, wrestling's always been my thing. I don't got no tattoos or anything. I love it that much, but that's my end goal. How can I work for WWE? How can I do community? Really? How can I do community relations? So an end goal is like, how can I bring John Cena to a Boys and Girls Club and talk about anti-bullying?
Connect with Michael Santana, even though he's not on there no more, right?
He been low key.
We waiting though. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the people are here. That's the other thing. It's people here. Like, let's build. You know what I'm saying?
And you two have such a great opportunity, because like I see you two and I see EYL. I see EYL. I'll put it there, bro. I see EYL of the Bronx. Like, there's so many people doing great work. Elevate those stories. Like, and again, that's what I'm gonna do. And we'll talk after. Is like, I'm gonna start a leadership podcast here because they gotta learn, right? If they're not gonna learn it in class, I'll teach them. But again, there's other forms of leaders. There's quiet leaders. There's forceful leaders, right?
Behind the scenes, in front of the camera, doing the research.
There's student leaders.
Come on, Val. We keep shouting. Val, you gotta make an appearance. Come say hi. Come over and say hi real quick.
Give Val a shot.
Pull up. Say what up. Tell them who you are.
I'm Valerie. I'm an admission intern at Mount Saint Vincent with Andrew. I'm a junior, and my major is sociology, so I don't know nothing about photography or video. But I'm working with it because it's sink or swim, as my mentor says.
Yeah, straight up.
Come on.
I gotta get back to it.
Like a true professional, back to work.
Sink or swim.
So Drew, we appreciate you, King. But we're not gonna let you go that easy. So we have a game that we like to play. All right. So the way it is going to work, the game is called Rapid Fire. All right. So Jay has 5 questions for you. Right. He's going to ask you the 5 questions. You're going to answer with the first word or words that you think of.
All right. Bet.
All right. Drew, are you ready?
I'm shooting. Shooting from the hip.
Yes.
Okay. Jay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Rapid Fire. Let's get it.
Who is the greatest NBA player of all time?
LeBron James.
What is your favorite hip hop album?
Damn, you got me. I love Drake, so anything Drake.
Okay, right? My favorite. Sorry,
I was gonna say Take Care.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite Drake album.
It is, but
yeah, I'll come back to this. You actually answered, so we're gonna have to switch this up. So I'm gonna add a different question in a second. But what's your favorite Bronx restaurant?
Ooh, there's a low key one, Salsa Bembe.
Where?
Oh.
Salsa Bembe on McLean. My mom took we'll jack it as the Bronx. My mom took me there to celebrate my grandma.
Oh, it's a Yonkers. It's Yonkers McLean. Yeah.
We'll jack it. It's on
Nah. Well, it's cool. Yonkers can have that.
All right. So then up the spot I met you at, Choco Bar.
Choco Bar.
Oh, yeah,
Choco Bar is
yeah.
tough. My lady and I, we like that a lot. The mixing of the chocolate with the ketchup and everything busts. Like,
Yes. Factual.
don't miss.
If somebody was visiting the Bronx for the first time, what would be the first place you would take them to?
College of Mount Saint Vincent.
Who is the one person that you look up to in terms of leadership?
Ooh, my mother. Straight up, my mom. That woman's tough, man. Like, I'll break it down to this type of story. It's like she could leave the crib before me for work, get to the crib after me, and still be up the next day, like doing her thing. And I'm like,
Yo, it's
how can I
unbelievable.
complain? How can I complain? How can I look at life tough when she had me at 17, bro? Like, she had me at 17 and figured it out. And she quit her college career at John Jay after 2 years. She became, a couple managers at like K&G out in Harlem, Dwayne Reed. But then she found a court officer, and she became a court officer in 2005 and has been with that career forever. Now she works a second job at Yankee Stadium. I'm like, bro, that's a leader. Like, I don't gotta talk about it. You're just gonna see my work. So yeah, my mom.
Shout out to mom, dude. She's trying to hustle for real.
Shout out to moms, man. That's right. We drifted off a little bit from rapid fire, but it's still really thinking about that. So I was gonna mention this, Drake "Take Care" is my favorite album.
Classic.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
C word for Drake "Take Care" classic.
That is a classic album. He doesn't like Drake.
Whoa.
So,
A lot of people don't like LeBron, but they respect him.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
No, you don't. You don't.
That's not true. Why are you lying for all these people?
But you don't.
No, that's not true. I like when Drake raps. I don't like when.
Bro,
Drake
that was
sings.
like 10 years ago.
That's a great point.
That means you don't like him in the last 10 years.
But I like the ability, right? So when he raps, I'm a fan. But when he sings, I'm like.
But he mostly sings. That means you mostly don't like him.
So you don't appreciate the singing.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan.
No, I do miss Drake rappity like rap.
Yeah.
But no, I feel you. Yo, take us home.
Oh yeah, and I don't dislike Drake. I'm gonna end on that point, right? I just don't think "Take Care" is a classic album.
You saw who they voted as the #1 rapper ever, right?
Jay. Yeah, I have a problem with that list, to be honest.
I haven't seen the list yet.
I have a problem with the list, but we could.
But I know Jay.
We could be here all day, but we gotta give this man his flowers. Yo, big shout out to you, Drew. Big shout out to BU. Stay true to the basketball camps, to the work that you're doing, to your new position. Which sounds super amazing. We definitely want to listen. Pull us in for anything that you can, anything you want us to be a part of.
I'll be teaching that class.
We will show up. But the work that you're doing is really impactful. And the thing that I really appreciate about you, and I learned that through this interview, is you get to be yourself in all of these different spaces. So you literally are the definition of being you and staying true. So I just want to give you your flowers on that, bro. Thank you for letting us kick it here.
Look, thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
So if people want to know what's going on with the camp and with what's going on with you and Mount Saint Vincent and all that, how can they follow you?
Puerto Rico too.
Puerto Rico, plug everything. Where can they see you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity again. And just to stay connected, it will be Drewski. So people started calling me that in high school. I brought it here to Mount St. Vincent, and it's just been something natural. And again, it gives me that other element of being personal.
Word.
Like, yes, my name is Andrew Curiel, but like, you can call me Drewski at any moment. Drewski, DREWSK, 4 E's and then an underscore. On my bio, I have the wrestling shirt, the BU Stay True, the Mount St. Vincent leadership Instagram will be coming out. So it's definitely up from here.
Okay. And Jay, if you don't mind throwing out our social medias for the people, if they want to tap in with Live from the Bronx some more.
Facts. On Instagram and Facebook, you can follow us at Live from the Bronx. On Twitter, that's Live from the BX. You can hit our website, www.livefromthebronx.com. You can email us at info@livefromthebronx.com as well. There's a million ways to get in touch with us. Let us know who you want to see on the show. Let us know what you think. Leave a review. Also YouTube, by the way. Subscribe. Stay up to date with what we got going on. And Bronx Summit is happening Saturday, May 13th.
Good plug.
Speak that into existence. It's coming soon, y'all. You're Live from the Bronx. We at Mount St. Vincent. We out here, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Out.
Lit.